Hey guys, so post commentary here, especially for this, because the Pit of 100 Trials, which you have seen before earlier on in this playthrough, and what I'm going to be doing right now, I'm going to be doing one big video of me trying to traverse through the pit and to get to Bonetail, which, spoiler alert, I don't. I actually stop at 78 because of just the increased difficulty as you tunnel downward. And I want to be honest with you guys, I've never completed the Pit of 100 Trials either. It's only been mostly kind of maybe. I think the only progress that I've possibly made was me going down probably 60 levels in my earlier file. And yeah, I'm doing this after level 18 because that was the level where we rescued that one toad in that one trouble. And yes, I have the spike shield equipped, so I don't have to worry about getting hit by these doofuses. And yeah, already I can tell right now that everything is all desync for some odd reason. I have no idea why. Oh jeez. Yeah, this is gonna be rather invigorating, I can tell. Which, yeah, I really haven't been really motivated on doing this LP as of late, guys. So that's partly the reason why I've been just kind of putting things off. Mostly because this was kind of an editing nightmare for me. Just having to cut out all these battles. And unfortunately, yeah, everything is just basically all desynced here, so I'm gonna just basically turn off the audio. I can't really put up any more of this. Everything, I mean, the video is fine, but I think everything is just really, really bad here. And I have to wonder if maybe it's the computer's fault that's doing it. But yeah, I have to check on that. I have to check whether or not something is, hopefully the CPU is not really the major cause of it and whatnot. Yeah, look at all the drop frames here. But yeah, basically, I've only basically edited out most of the battles that we've seen before, and since the Pit of 100 Trials introduces many other new enemies, I decided to leave those in and cut out any subsequent ones that we might do later on, which, let me just tell you, there are many. And yeah, this audio is getting very bad here. I should probably just cut out the audio right now because this is just really bad. So yeah, I have a couple of things to talk about while we just kind of suck at this, which I don't really do earlier on, but wait until you get to level 60, guys, and then it gets really asinine. Even though I bet you anything, a lot of you guys who are watching this, by the way, are not really surprised on what to expect here. Because, yeah, if you guys have watched all my other previous playthroughs, I'm not really what you call a completionist or just a pro gamer of any kind. I kind of suck at games in general, even though I like gaming. I like video games. I like playing video games, but I do kind of suck in many areas where I probably am kind of subpar to a lot of other gamers out there, including speedrunners, which, if I had to do a speedrun, I would love to do Kirby's Adventure because I'm just an ace at that game, but, I mean, that's an NES game. If it was something like this is a speedrun killer. And I've never really been that very competent of a gamer in general. I mean, I try to kind of go the extra mile and, you know, see if I can make it to this finally, you know, if I can make it to this whole thing. Or, you know, if I, say, wanted to just kind of go the extra mile and collect all the blue coins in Mario Sunshine, then I would do it, which I finally did. I mean, it took me about maybe a decade or so to complete Sunshine because, again, I'm just not that rigorous of a gamer to complete everything because number one, there's just not really much incentive into it. You don't really get a whole lot of stuff. It's not a really huge reward if you get 100%. And yeah, Zap Tap's a great badge, but might I add. But it's just, it doesn't really add that much incentive to your whole gaming experience. Yeah, of course, you know, it's, you know, even though I hate saying that word, YOLO. You only live once, YOLO. YOLO! But, it's just, I haven't really dedicated myself to completing a game. If I'm doing a Zelda game, I will, you know, kind of go on a little collectathon if I have the time. You know, like, for example, in Twilight Princess, I just try to find some heart pieces, or, you know, I might do an all-heart run, or if I am just collecting bottles or stuff like that, I would be happy to take the time to do that, but like, for example, in the case of Ocarina of Time, I'm not going to collect all 100 gold Skulltulas because I really don't care about getting just infinite money in my wallet when I can just collect rupees off screen and just collect it that way. I mean, yeah, sure, it's a good I mean, I guess it's an okay reward, but it's not going to defeat Ganon if I collect 100 gold Skulltula. But yeah, anyway, here we are, just doing this. Just doing the usual thing here. And, again, the drop frame rate kind of worries me a little bit. But the next thing I should probably talk about here, in accordance to my whole LPing experience in general, is I think after I'm done with Paper Mario here, I'm going to be taking another 7-week hiatus because I think the other reason why I've been just kind of putting this off is just, it's a lot like Ocarina of Time all over again, and I just want to be able to complete this game without having to be able to develop a big hiatus in the middle of Ocarina of Time as well. I want to be able to complete this game without just having to go through that again. And after I got through with Ocarina of Time, I just really got burned out, and not to mention the fact that when I did Kirby's Adventure, the whole audio desynced for that, so I just had to basically catch up with everything there. It was kind of embarrassing, which was the reason why I bought this computer, which evidently I don't think it's really doing the job anymore. I don't know. I'm just going to have to I'm going to have to assume that maybe the problem is that you know, here's your first mover, which is actually I think that's Pungent from, you know, the shopkeeper's assistant in the Great Tree, who is kind of an okay guy. He's an okay little fella. I like his hat, if you call it a hat. But anyway, I might be just kind of, and I might just discuss this in an update video anyway, because I know a lot of people are not going to be watching this anyway. But I think I've been kind of considering ending LPing just pre-record, other than just for Weekend of Hacks. I'll keep doing that and just collab stuff. I might be just ending LPing altogether for just stuff like this, and just moving on to just permanently going to Twitch. Which, I mean, it's been really nice doing this for about 7 or so years, and I wish I could continue on. I mean, I had kind of hopes and dreams when I first started doing this whole road of YouTube that, you know, I had kind of hopes and dreams that I would just, you know, the foolish guy like me thinking, oh, hey, this guy might eventually make it to Polaris someday, or, you know, back then it was called the Game Station. I mean, I kind of had dreams of becoming one of those guys, just joining up with the ranks of some of the LPers that I watched at that time, like SSOH PKC, also known as Seamus, and others, like, you know, Luca Jin, which I did watch a lot back in the day, and I also watched a few Purple Rodri, some other YouTubers that were kind of along my ranks. Like, I mean, Deceased Crab was the reason why I got into LPs in general. Was, he was the first LPer I watched. And his commentary style was kind of what I sort of adopted. Even though, as you can tell right here, my delivery is a little bit different than his, but again, delivery doesn't really matter. I mean, I know it's kind of, you know, being a stutterer like I am, it's kind of really hard to just try to walk and talk. Just basically try to provide pretty coherent commentary while at the same time just being an entertainer. And it's kind of tough doing that, especially if you have a stutter or, you know, some other condition like, you know, foreign accent syndrome or stuff like that. But, I mean, I've kept going here, and it's been a hell of a ride. But yeah, I think I am going to stop doing LPs maybe in the next year or so, and just basically what I might do afterwards, and I might just start doing later on in the year, is I might just, if my computer can handle it, if my computer can actually just kind of handle the Twitch lag and whatnot, I will be just twitching it up and just going down the live stream route for, you know, another few or so years before I just end that altogether. Because, I mean, let's face it, YouTube has gotten very overly saturated, and with its past policies that have just basically ruined the gaming network experience for a lot of smaller channels like like yours truly. It's kind of gotten me thinking that maybe it's about time that I kind of hang up the controller, so to say. Just put down my controller and just maybe focus on just doing stuff my own way. Because after all, I have my own job. I was kind of thinking, again, ideally, idyllically, that I was going to, have a real job with a gaming network, which I did for a time. I was with RPM/MakerGen, and I was with Fullscreen until they dropped me. But I didn't earn anything from Fullscreen, and the only paychecks that I received from RPM were, few and far between. They were only maybe about small interims. And again, it's not really for the money, guys, but it would have been a lot of fun. I mean, if I was able to... Yeah, here's the strange sack, which was mainly the reason why I went down here, but I just, foolish me, just, foolish me wanted to take it down, the extra mile, try to go the distance, see if I can make it to Bonetail. Which, yeah, it was a bit of a disappointment that I wasn't really able to reach up to, down to level 80. Because I was thinking about stopping to level 80 anyway, because the battles here were getting a lot harder. And these jackasses, holy moly, these bandits here. These bandits were just basically the epitome of everything that is just basically wrong with my life. Because if you get mugged by these guys, these guys steal your badges, and they will also steal your items, I do believe. And if they run, you will have to battle these guys over and over and over and over and over again, just perpetually until you get your badges. Or, unless if you try to find some strategy to defeat them without having, without having them run like that. So if, as you can see here, yeah, I got my badge back, but I have to battle these losers again. Because, yeah, that guy has that ice power badge. And, yeah, very tough chitlins here. I really hate these guys. It's a good reason why I had Art Attack. I wish I could have, just saved a lot more for healing, but no, we have to get these. I have to get my badges back because this game is kind of heartless sometimes. It doesn't really offer a whole lot of generous offerings for me. Okay, so let's actually now move on with our merry lives. And let's collect all these thingamajiggies along the way here, as well as get back my badge. I'm very glad I got back my ice power badge, because I would have just kind of... Well, we're supposed to get our badge anyway. We're supposed to get our badge back anyway, regardless of whether or not we keep losing to the bandits. But yeah, just basically, I will be... I might be doing some more live streaming from now on, point is. So, just get used to the idea that I may not be doing LPs that much anymore in the coming years, except for maybe RPG material and collaboration stuff. But other than that, I'm mostly going to be doing some just Nintendo stuff on Twitch, so I'm just gonna Twitch it up. Just want to let you guys know beforehand, just for those of you who are watching this, I'll let you guys know what the whole schematics of the channel is going to be moving forward here, just the whole direction. And yeah, another thing I should probably just briefly talk about, even though I should probably just maybe save that for another video, which I've been kind of planning on doing anyway, is I was going to discuss on, just briefly, that it turns out that Pokemon Essentials is back. That is very wonderful news to me. And the thing is it's, and kind of the silly, ridiculous thing about it is, it's been up for about a year now. The brand new website on getting, Pokemon Essentials, as well as just the whole wiki is just, it's been up for about a year now, and it's kind of saddened me a little bit, because when the news broke out that Nintendo just outright flagged Nintendo and Game Freak, they were both in on it together, that they just flagged Essentials for, quote, copyright infringement. Just, emphasis on quotes there. It just kind of discouraged me from getting me back to creating my game, because I am actually, right now, making a Pokemon game. Very slowly, but, it's still in the works. I'm still kind of learning the tools of the trade a little bit. I'm still looking... I might be, actually... looking for some more mates to maybe help me out here. We might form our own collab there, and just, I would like to, get some people to help out with sprite design and maybe some Fakemon design if I wanted some extra legendaries in my game, or just maybe some scripters out there, even though I kind of would like to do scripting alone because the whole thing is kind of fun anyway, especially in RPG Maker XP, which is again the engine where where Essentials was created in. It's basically something that's created in RPG Maker. It's not really its own software per se. I mean, it's not really software that you can just, make your own Pokemon game. I kind of wish it was the case. It would have been nice if we had, just our own software that we could have just used to make our own Pokemon games like Super Mario Maker, except a lot more comprehensive, a lot more detailed. I mean, a lot more it's a lot more detailed and a lot more comprehensive as opposed to just gimmicky as what Super Mario Maker is known to do. I mean, that's what a lot of courses created in that game are really designed to do. It's just be a lot more gimmicky and just obstacle course based. While if we had our own software dedicated to making Pokemon games and, have just extra online support for just maybe sharing between, people who are interested and or people who want to help collaborate with finishing up the game, just helping out with the game a little bit in general, then it would be really nice, if Game Freak just, had that idea in mind. But nope, they're just doing some goofed up horseshit with Sword and Shield right now, which the more news I kind of dabble into that, the more disappointed I'm getting. Even though I'm still kind of excited for the game, it does look like an interesting game to play. It's just... And don't get me wrong, guys. Again, as I said before earlier in this episode, I'm not a completionist by any means. But, sympathizing with a lot of the other players who are interested in just completing their Pokedex, I think it was kind of a dick move of Game Freak to not include the National Dex in Sword and Shield. I don't know why they just decided to just abandon some of the mechanics that were just really cool in Gen 6. Like, for example, Mega Evolutions, I don't know why they dropped those. I don't know why they're dropping the Z moves from Gen 7. I don't know why they're... Well, I mean, it may be just, limited capacity, or maybe they're just, on deadline and they've just decided to just lazily abandon some of their classic mechanics. Like, I mean, the National Dex has been around since Gen 3. Specifically ever since Fire Red and Leaf Green came out. And it's kind of a turn back. It's kind of a little... It's just kind of a little fuck you to the players who are just interested in completing their Pokédex. And hopefully Game Freak resolves this issue later on, maybe down the road after the release date is all settled. I don't know if that's going to happen, but still, I think it would be a lot nicer if Game Freak kept the National Dex in there. And I mean, I could care less. I'm not really the kind of guy who is really dead set on just catching all, or just somehow being able to fill in all 900 species of Pokemon on his Pokédex. I'm just not really that kind of guy who is just really that patient enough to even just do that kind of thing. And not to mention the fact that just the incentive behind it is just not really good at all. It's just, Again, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, like for example, if you were to complete your Pokédex in Gen 1, and if you were to just show your Pokédex to the designer in Celadon, all you basically get is a certificate proving that you've caught all 151, or rather 150 or 151 kinds of Pokemon. No more, no less. All you get is a certificate. No confetti or anything. It's just, you know, proof that you caught all your... It's just proof that you made a living dex out of it. And that's just it. It may have been really beneficial if you were doing Stadium 1 and you had all your Pokemon at level 50 or something, and you just decided to play in Poké Cup or, you know, Gym Leader Castle, but really, besides that, it's just... There's just not really that much incentive. There's not really that much incentive to really filling up your Pokédex anyway, which is a bit. It's always been a bit of a disappointment with me, or rather for me. I don't know. Again, I'm just the kind of guy who is just, you know, bear with me, just being all socially awkward and whatnot. You know, I haven't really been doing this for a long while, so I need to get back to the groove of just sort of formulating my commentary a little bit. But yeah, just going back to actually to the whole Essentials debacle. I am gonna make my own video on that. Just, you know, just sort of do the 1-year anniversary of just the Essentials takedown, and just kind of give my own thought dump on that matter, and just maybe offer some solutions to those who are, you know... Well, I mean, I guess maybe that might be a little bit moot by this point, since the website is back up, but Maruno hasn't exactly updated. I mean, he hasn't updated the link for the newest Essentials yet. He's still developing the new version of that, and he hasn't really given any news as to when he's going to bring up the link. But yeah, that's still just in the works. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. And now let's try to finish this up. As you can see here, some of these enemies are actually a sneak preview of the enemies that we're going to be running into in the Palace of Shadow. You know, that palace that's going to be beyond the 1,000-year door. Including the harder version of Dry Bones. These jackasses, the wizards. And there's also an elite wizard that we just faced. They're the yellow-colored ones. Those are the harder of the bunch, and I think they're only exclusive to the pit. To the pit of 100 trials, so... Yeah. And we have just basically all these enemies that we faced before in Chapter 7. And unfortunately, since I couldn't really progress any further past level 80, I couldn't really give anyone a... I mean, I couldn't really show off what exactly we will actually face. Yeah, here's Double Dip P, which yeah, it's just basically Double Dip for your partner. It allows your partner to use 2 items as well. Yeah, here we go. Here is this guy. Here is the Elite Wizard, I do believe. I think that's what his name is. Plus these guys, which take forever to defeat. The harder Koopa Troll. Yeah, they're just... Yeah, these guys are wizards. And of course, these guys, the advanced form of the Koopa Troll, these guys take freaking forever to defeat. Yeah, the harder you descend down into the pit, the more hit points these enemies will take. So just basically taking at least a few turns, just a few hundred turns, just to defeat them in total. So that's not really. You have to be kind of patient to actually get through the pit, and you also have to be really prepared too. Just bring a whole shitload of items with you, which I didn't really do, and I had to be kind of an imbecile and just move on past level 50 and not be able to save my getting the adult wallet. just the bigger bag of items, which allows me to store up to 20. I just couldn't really bother to do that. I just had to go double or nothing. Oh yeah, you guys missed. You guys missed that very shocking thunderbolt there. And yay, just me punching my mic because it's worthless. It's a worthless piece of garbage that deserves to be thrown all the way to Scotland. And I'm not saying that Scotland is full of trash. It's just the North Sea, man. The North Sea. It's all oily. Come on, can we get the shines? Nope! Unfortunately not. So what do? We evade these very powerful numbnuts attacks. And yeah, I kind of forgot that I was confused in this whole bout here. And I can't remember. Okay, good. At least I was able to get one power jump in. But yeah, I think one of the good things about talking about just, bringing up other topics is that at least you don't really have to just give very, very obvious commentary, like, oh yeah, I'm just defeating this Koopa Troll here. Oh yeah, Vivian got this, Vivian's gonna make this attack. It's not gonna be like a Ted Lewis style battle, where it just saying something like, Vivian is down, or, is Vivian down and out, or is Goombella is not exceeding an inch. This Koopa Troll is a pain in the dickweed. This Koopa Troll shit on my mommy's undie. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that statement there. Just this Koopa Troll just shit on my mom's latest bra. Of the latest fashion. Ooh la la, where are my quarter notes? And I think, yeah, these guys are exclusive. I think these guys are actually exclusive to the pit. The green variant of Ember. Plus these guys, these gray swoops. The Change Humps, I do recall either these guys or their red counterparts being in the Palace of Shadow. Even though I thought both of them were in the Palace of Shadow. Now, had I gone even further, we would have also run into some piranha plants. The actual piranha plant that we see almost all the time in every single Mario game, just the red-colored one. Those are apparently down here, and they're exclusive to the pit. And they're the hardest. They're the hardest variant. I have no idea why, because they weren't so hard in the first game. We only encountered them in Forever Forest, after all. So I don't know why they're even harder and just more intense in this game. And there's also supposed to be another kind of menacing variant of the spider that will show up if you go past level 80. Which, I think I was kind of lucky that I just saved myself the trouble of going, not really proceeding any further. The second time I gave myself 2 consolation prizes, and I just decided to go back down, get the double dip and the strange sack again, and just do nothing else. I really could care less about the double dip P because I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm really gonna be using 2 items for my partner anyway, since I'm very manageable that way of just healing up my partners. To not really even bother, you know, having to, you know, waste 3 more badge points just to have my partner be able to use items of his or her own. Would have it been nice? Yeah, but it's not exactly mandatory. It's a lot better to use double dip, just equip Mario with double dip than have both of them. Because, I mean, there are so many options you can choose. I mean, if you were to go down the badge, just basically the badge point route and just basically really go all in on upgrading your badge points, then, you know, you could have just, you know, the sky's the limit, just be able to use a whole lot of badges. But here I'm gonna have to conserve quite a good number of them, because I'm not really made of badge points. I'm a lot more made of just basically a whole equilibrium of everything. I just have magic power and heart points and just basically all that. So I can't really go all in, which would have been rather tedious anyway, because then I would have had to just grind Mario all the way up to beyond level 30. And yeah, TTYD is not really quite the same as the first game, because the first game had a maximum limit as to how much you can upgrade your heart points, flower points, and everything else. Here, it's more like it's unlimited, but you just kind of, it's more like, you know, it's like making choices in life, you know, just, you know, if you want to choose to upgrade your health or upgrade your magic power, you know, whatever. It's a lot like your other standard RPG where you can basically choose whatever you want and everything is unlimited, just you have to choose wisely. And yeah, as you can see here, I am pretty much almost done because these guys, these jerks are really doing me in. And of course the dynamite doesn't really help either. I don't know where this random dynamite is coming from. Just kind of appearing out of nowhere from the catwalks. And yeah, I am pretty much done there. Yep. That's where I stopped, guys. I rest my case. So anyway, we will be back to doing Thousand Year Door momentarily. So next time, if it all goes well, we will be finishing up Chapter 8. Again, sorry for the long hiatus, but I wasn't really motivated to do a whole lot this summer, so again, I'll be back into the groove of things, and we'll be wrapping this whole game up, so look forward to that.